What's up, Ragin Nation? How's it going? This is Alex Yu, and you're watching the DC edition of the Ragin Nation Show. This is just a web series where we talk about all things that matter to me in the DC Extended Universe. This is episode number 60, and I'm sure by now you guys have seen Wonder Woman. I loved it. Saw it twice. I thought it was excellent. Did a review for it. High scores from me. So, Wonder Woman at the box office has now accumulated just over $450 million after 2 weekends in release. It's now going into its third weekend, and I'm sure by then it will have broken the $500 million mark, and it's just going to keep on climbing because it's such an outstanding film. And it made that kind of money despite the fact that it was banned in Lebanon, despite the fact that it was pulled from the film festival in Algeria, and also despite the fact that the screenings were suspended in Tunisia. This film has quite a bit of controversy in other parts of the world, but it doesn't matter because it's doing really, really well. So the big question is, what is next for Wonder Woman? Well, specifically, what is next for director Patty Jenkins? Well, Patty Jenkins is very interested in a Wonder Woman sequel. But I was just thinking, wait a minute, isn't she already signed on? I swear I saw another article that said that she was already signed on. Like right here. It says here, Patty Jenkins committed to direct Wonder Woman 2, sequel details confirmed. Apparently that's not true. According to The Hollywood Reporter, Wonder Woman director Patty Jenkins is not signed on for a sequel. And she says, it's definitely something I'm very, very, very interested in. I love what we've created, and I love the team that I worked with doing it, and these actors so much that, yeah, we're all very excited to talk about continuing forward together. Now, I think that is a little bit questionable in the sense that she's not already signed on. That really tells you something about the studios, Warner Brothers, when they don't even have Patty Jenkins signed on for multiple films, just like how they did, for example, in the Marvel Studios, they signed on the Russo brothers because they were confident with their product, and it seems like Warner Brothers originally wasn't confident with Wonder Woman in the beginning. Because they only predicted that it would only bring in around $65 million on its opening. It brought in more than that. So it really tells you something about the studios when they're not really that confident about the product. I'm not saying that they're not confident at all. They weren't as confident as they should be. But anyways, Wonder Woman is a big hit, so now we got to talk about what's going on next. Now, Patty Jenkins isn't attached to direct a Wonder Woman sequel, but I'm sure she's going to be back. But there are other directors who have unfortunately departed from other DC Extended Universe projects, such as Doug Liman has part ways with Justice League Dark movie, and it's due to scheduling conflicts. Now, this is very unfortunate because this kind of is a little bit of quite a big setback for the project. And I do want to see that Justice League Dark movie move forward quicker because I want to see something different, because we're so used to seeing, you know, Batman and Superman, and Suicide Squad wasn't you know, I don't know where they're going with that, but, you know, it would be nice to see, it would be great to see brand new characters into the DC Extended Universe, and Justice League Dark would have been that movie. And I'm sure they're going to continue moving us forward, but they got to find a new director right now. They don't really have anybody at the moment. They haven't signed anyone on right now. However, I'm pretty positive that they're working on that as we speak. Another unfortunate news is that, and this happened a number of weeks ago, Zack Snyder has stepped down from continuing his duties as a director for Justice League because of a family tragedy. And that's really, really tragic and unfortunate about what happened, but I totally respect his decision to step down. He has now appointed Joss Whedon to continue the directorial duties for Justice League. Now, that's a pretty big deal. First of all, we already know that Joss Whedon will be directing Batgirl for the DC Extended Universe, which is awesome. And now he's going to be continuing the directing duties for Justice League. Now, you're probably thinking, wait a minute, isn't Justice League already wrapped up post-production? I mean, sorry, principal photography? Yes, it is. But the director still has a lot of work to do even after the film is done filming. There's post-production, and of course he has to oversee that. There's a lot of work to be done there, and apparently Justice League is reportedly going through a significant amount of reshoots. Now, if it is going through reshoots, that means Joss Whedon will be involved with a lot of directing duties, as in being behind the camera. This is an opportunity to do that. Now, the Justice League reshoots isn't something that wasn't, I guess it wasn't publicly advertised or publicly mentioned. It was mentioned through rumors, and there's a lot of movie websites covering that, but it wasn't something that was officially announced. And the main reason for that is because, well, first of all, no studio expects to do reshoots, especially a significant amount of reshoots. They allot some time for that, but they don't really schedule it in. Another thing is that when reshoots are announced, it's usually seen by the public as a negative thing. So they don't really publicize that. But anyways, reshoots are going on. Joss Whedon's going to be taking over the duties of that. And I'm really, really wondering how that will affect the overall look of the film. Like the tone, the feel of it, and the whole vision. Because most of it will be, of course, Zack Snyder's vision. But having a director which has a very, very different style of directing, and even visual style and storytelling style. I mean, we've seen the Avengers, right? So having two different styles of direction, I wonder how that's going to affect the movie. Because when you have movies with multiple writers, and sometimes even a film that has multiple directors, like switching directors, you really see what happens. So in a way, I'm wondering how it might affect it, in what way, positively or negatively. We won't know until we watch the movie. So that's going to be very, very interesting. Henry Cavill is here, all suited up here on his Instagram post. And, well, now that we have Joss Whedon as a director, and we know that Hans Zimmer has stepped down completely from all duties involving composing music for superhero films or films in the comic book genre. Now we have Danny Elfman confirmed to be the composer for Justice League. Now that's pretty awesome. I think that's pretty awesome because I actually really liked Danny Elfman's contribution to Spider-Man. The Spider-Man score is quite superb, and he did that for the Sam Raimi trilogy, and now he's back into the comic book genre with Justice League. So I'm really looking forward to what he's going to bring to the musical score of Justice League. We already have heard a lot of Hans Zimmer's contribution to the DC world, such as, for example, the Dark Knight trilogy, Man of Steel, and also Batman vs. Superman. And he also worked on the Amazing Spider-Man 2 score. So it's really great to see new talent brought on board for the DC Extended Universe. So that's something I'm pretty excited about. Now, Forbes writer Mark Hughes actually wrote an extensive article about the future of the DC Extended Universe. And I thought that this quote right here, it was quite interesting. The truth is, a lot is riding on how 2017 pans out. The studios want to see how Wonder Woman performs. So far, so good on that front. And how Justice League turns out before they barrel ahead with multiple more films every year. More films will get made, don't worry, but it makes sense to ease off the gas a little and be certain about the best route ahead. Now that is a very interesting quote, because you know that they did plan out a whole bunch of other films that are coming out in the next couple of years. But all that stuff has been shifting around a lot, mainly because, first of all, directors have been dropping out, scheduling conflicts, and new projects have been inserted into the calendar, which shift things around a lot. So a lot is riding on this year. This is the year where they really need to be concerned, because if Wonder Woman isn't a hit, which it is now, and Justice League doesn't do better than Batman vs. Superman, then they have something to think about. I think they should just take it slowly and really think about what projects they should really tackle before they continue moving on with some of their more ambitious projects, all right? But something that they thought was a huge success was Suicide Squad. And Suicide Squad 2 is happening, and Joel Kinnaman, who plays Rick Flag, he offered an update for Suicide Squad, and here's what he said. As far as I know, they're writing the script, and I think the plan is to shoot it sometime in 2018, but that could change. I think I'll definitely come back for it. Ultimately, I'd love for David Ayer to direct, but if he doesn't want to direct, then it should be somebody who is great with character and that's able to ground the story and maybe put these characters in a more normal situation. It would be really interesting to see these crazy characters interact with regular people as well. I like the second paragraph. Other than the fact that he'd want David Ayer to direct, I like the fact that he wants to normalize it a little bit more and have these characters in more normal situations. And by normal situations, interacting with regular people. Maybe a story that's a little bit more grounded. You know, that would be cool. That would be much better. But anyways, he honestly doesn't know very much about what's going on other than the fact that they're writing the script. I mean, that could take a while. But if everything goes well, then they'll definitely shoot it for 2018. It's just that they don't have a director. And I would love to not see David Ayer back because we've already seen his vision and it's brought in a lot of money, but I think it brought in a lot of money mainly because it was something different and it was set in the Batman universe, which is a huge, I guess, a staple for a lot of fans in the DC universe of films. But you know, Will Smith was also on board for that film, so therefore it's got a huge following there. However, you know, there were a lot of problems with Suicide Squad in the storytelling. But anyways, I'm down for a sequel. Next is Batgirl. Batgirl was obviously announced for the DC Extended Universe with Joss Whedon directing. And apparently, if everything goes well, as in Wonder Woman does really great at the box office, which is really progressing towards, and if Justice League does significantly well at the box office, then apparently Justice League Dark and Batgirl are next for DC. I think that's a good direction for DC because we've already seen a lot of those characters in Justice League, so I don't think that it would be smart to just have the individual characters right away, like have the individual characters right away to in their movies, just because, well, we don't know how Justice League is going to turn out. We don't know who the fan favorite characters are going to be. Maybe it's just going to be a good movie, but not everybody's going to like all those characters. So let's just bring in new characters, and they already know that Batman, or rather the Batman universe, is a huge a popular product in their universe. So bring in Batgirl, and let's bring in the Justice League Dark. Bring in a bunch of new characters, kind of like how they brought in new characters for the Suicide Squad. I think that's a great direction for them. And if they are going to do that, I think that is something that I'm looking forward to more compared to the individual solo films of the Justice League members. I definitely want to see that Batman movie, though. I don't know what the status is for the Matt Reeves directed Ben Affleck film, but I hope that's moving forward because, you know, at the end of the day, Batman is their most popular product in the DC universe. So, yeah, they should really consider that. Anyways, that's all I gotta say in this episode. This was just a little bit of a recap on all the things that have happened in the DC front for the last couple of weeks, and a lot has been going on. So, this is your update for that. But anyways, if you want to see more updates, make sure you are subscribed to this channel. You like this video, follow me on Twitter at Ragin Nation, and also like the Facebook page, The Ragin Nation. My name is Alex Yu. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time. Peace. Because of the story and the performances. First of all, Kate Mara does an terrific job in giving us a really believable performance.